Long Island medium Theresa Caputo is having a hard time with her family, but she can't tell anyone. Hearing this, her ex-husband, Larry Caputo, came to her side. Theresa Caputo sat alone in her dimly lit living room, staring at the flickering candle on the coffee table. The weight of her family's troubles pressed heavily on her chest, but she couldn't bring herself to talk about it. She had always been the one people leaned on, the one who had the answers, the strength. But now she felt lost. Her daughter Victoria had turned away from her after a heated argument, and her son, Larry Jr., was drowning in his own troubles. The walls around Theresa seemed to close in, suffocating her in silence. Then, out of nowhere, a familiar voice broke the stillness. "Theresa, what's going on?" Larry Caputo stood in the doorway, concern etched on his face. She looked up, startled. It had been months since they had spoken properly. They had built separate lives, moved on, or at least pretended to. But here he was, the man she had once loved, standing before her, offering his presence in her darkest hour. "Larry, why are you here?" she asked, her voice barely above a whisper. "I heard that you're struggling," he admitted. "And I know you won't tell anyone, so I figure I'd just show up." Tears welled in Theresa's eyes, but she quickly blinked them away. "I don't know what to do anymore," she confessed. "Everything is falling apart, and I have to pretend I'm okay." Larry walked over and sat beside her. "You don't have to pretend with me. I may not be your husband anymore, but I still care." She exhaled sharply, the walls she had built around herself cracking just a little. "I don't even know where to start." "Then don't," he said simply. "Just sit here, breathe, and know that you're not alone." For the first time in weeks, Theresa felt a sense of relief. Maybe she didn't have to carry everything on her own. Maybe, just maybe, even after everything they had been through, Larry was still the one person who truly understood her. And in that moment, that was enough. However, the theater buzzed with anticipation as the audience settled into their seats. The soft golden glow bathed the stage, and a hush fell over the crowd as Theresa Caputo, the world-renowned Long Island medium, stepped forward. Dressed in her signature high heels and sparkling attire, she greeted the audience with a warm smile and a wave. "Good evening, everyone," she said, her voice filled with energy. "Are you ready to hear from your loved ones on the other side?" A chorus of "yes" echoed through the theater. Theresa closed her eyes for a moment, tuning in to the spiritual energy surrounding her. Suddenly, she pointed to a woman in the third row. "I'm getting a strong presence from a mother figure," Theresa began. "She's showing me a beautiful rose, and the name Margaret keeps coming through. Does that resonate with anyone here?" A middle-aged woman gasped and clutched her hands to her chest. "That's my mom. She passed away last year. Margaret was her middle name." Theresa nodded, a knowing expression on her face. "She's telling me she's with you every day. She wants you to stop worrying about the locket you lost. She says it's behind the nightstand." Tears welled in the woman's eyes as she nodded. "I've been looking for it for months." The audience murmured in amazement. Theresa continued moving around the room, delivering heartfelt messages to various attendees. A young man in the back was stunned when Theresa described his father's fishing hat and the way he used to whistle an old Sinatra tune. Another woman sobbed as Theresa relayed a message from her late sister, who had passed suddenly but wanted her to know she was at peace. As the night went on, emotions ran high, tears of sorrow mixed with laughter as Theresa shared little quirks and inside jokes from the spirits. The atmosphere was electric, filled with a strange yet comforting sense of connection between the living and the departed. Finally, Theresa took a deep breath, her voice softening. "Remember, our loved ones never truly leave us. They are always with us in signs, in dreams, in the little moments we sometimes overlook." The audience erupted into applause, some wiping away tears, others smiling with a newfound sense of peace. As Theresa waved goodbye, she knew she had once again bridged the gap between two worlds, bringing love and healing to those who needed it most. However, On a bright, sunny afternoon, the Drew Barrymore Show was airing an exciting episode featuring none other than Theresa Caputo, the renowned Long Island medium. Drew had invited Theresa for a special reading, and the atmosphere in the studio was filled with anticipation. Among the guests was Drew's hairstylist, Alex, a calm and composed individual who had been working with Drew for years. Alex was known for their cool-headed approach to everything, but today, something was different. As the reading began, Theresa, with her signature ability to connect with the other side, started channeling messages. She reached out to the spirits with grace and accuracy, and her words struck a chord with everyone in the room. However, it was when Theresa turned her attention to Alex that the unexpected happened. "You've been carrying a heavy burden, haven't you?" Theresa asked, her gaze intense yet kind. Alex froze, their usual composure slipping. A chill ran down their spine as Theresa continued. "There's someone in your life, someone who has passed, and they want you to know that they're at peace now." Alex's eyes filled with tears, their heart heavy with the sudden rush of emotions. The message was clear. It was about their late mother, someone Alex had not fully processed losing. The grief they had buried deep inside was coming to the surface now, and Theresa's words felt like a gentle wave that washed over them. "She's proud of you. She sees everything you've done, all the love you've given, and all the strength you've shown. It's time to let go and honor yourself too," Theresa said softly. For the first time in years, themselves to truly feel the loss, the sorrow, but also the love that had always been present. The walls they had built around their heart cracked just enough for healing to begin. Drew, noticing the emotional shift, reached out and held Alex's hand. "Are you okay?" she whispered, her voice filled with genuine concern. Alex nodded, wiping away a tear. "I think I am now." The reading wrapped up, but the energy in the room had changed. It was no longer just a fun TV segment. It had turned into a deeply personal and transformative moment for Alex. As they left the studio that day, they felt lighter, as though the weight of years of unspoken grief had finally been lifted. That evening, Drew sent a text to Alex. "You were amazing today. Remember, you're not alone." It wasn't just a message of support, it was a reminder that healing, though unpredictable, often comes when we least expect it. However, Theresa Caputo, known for her unique ability to connect with spirits, was invited to the Drew Barrymore Show to bring closure to a group of audience members who had lost loved ones. Drew Barrymore, a longtime fan of Theresa's work, had gathered people from various walks of life, each carrying their own heartache and unresolved grief. With a warm smile and calm demeanor, Theresa began her reading, hoping to provide peace for those longing for connection. The first person Theresa called upon was a woman in her early 40s named Claire. She had lost her father a few years ago, and the wounds were still fresh. Claire's eyes teared up as Theresa closed her eyes, connecting with the spirit world. After a few moments of silence, Theresa's voice cut through the tension. "Your father is here, Claire," she said, her voice soft yet certain. "He says he's sorry for not telling you how proud he was of you. He's watching over you, especially during those sleepless nights when you feel lost." Claire gasped, shaking her head in disbelief. "He never said that. He never had the chance." Theresa smiled gently. "He's saying he didn't know how to express it back then, but he's making sure you know now. He's proud of the person you've become." Tears streamed down Claire's face as a sense of peace began to settle over her. The weight of the unspoken words lifted, and for the first time in years, she felt at ease knowing her father was proud of her. Next, a man named Greg was called up. He had lost his younger brother, Tyler, in a tragic accident. Greg was haunted by the feeling that he never had the chance to say goodbye, and he carried guilt in his heart. As Theresa connected with Tyler, she smiled softly, sensing his energy. "Tyler is here, Greg," she said, her voice full of warmth. "He wants you to know he never blamed you for what happened. He says the love between you two was all he ever needed. He's okay now, he's free from pain, and he's with you every day, even when you don't realize it. Greg collapsed into tears, his body shaking as the grief he had carried for so long finally found release. I always wondered if he hated me for not being there that day, he whispered. No, Theresa reassured him. Your brother loved you, and he's been watching over you, guiding you even in your darkest moments. The final reading was for a woman named Sarah, who had recently lost her mother to cancer. Sarah had always been her mother's caretaker, and she felt an overwhelming sense of guilt that she couldn't do more. Theresa closed her eyes, and moments later, she spoke. Sarah, your mother is here, and she's saying she was proud of how much you gave her. She knew you did everything in your power to make her comfortable, and she's grateful for your love. Don't carry the guilt. She's with you now, smiling and at peace. Sarah took a deep breath. The weight in her chest lightened. I needed to hear that, she whispered, her voice breaking. I just wanted to do more. You did everything, Sarah, Theresa said softly. Love is all that matters. As the readings came to a close, the audience was filled with a sense of closure that only Theresa could provide. Through her extraordinary gift, she had helped them heal, not with words, but with the undeniable truth that love never truly fades away. Drew Barrymore, watching from the side, wiped away a tear. Theresa, she said, stepping into the spotlight, you've given these people something priceless today. You've brought them peace. Theresa smiled, her heart full of gratitude. It's not me, Drew, she said quietly. It's the love that never dies. And as the show ended, those in the audience walked away with a renewed sense of hope, knowing that no matter how far away their loved ones seemed, they were never truly gone. They were just a whisper away. Hello, lovely viewers. Welcome to my channel. I am Mina. Hope your day is so well. If you like the video, don't forget to subscribe the channel.